You as a new filmmaker, an indie filmmaker, you're trying to make some good stuff, you're trying to make your dreams come true, you have a great script, and you are coming across this problem. You may have fallen victim to this problem. You can't find the right cast. But the good news is that there's actors all over the place waiting for the chance just to be on screen, just to practice their craft and the art form that is acting and performing. We're going to find the actors. I'm going to tell you where to find them, where to look. And if you know where to find them and I say some things that you're like, of course I know to do this, well then do it. What are you waiting for? So the first one is very, very easy. You may or may not know this, but it's very, very common knowledge that if you have a project and you have a casting call, these casting websites are where you can post for actors. So this could be Backstage, Casting Network, Actors Access, Mandy. That's usually the first place that everyone starts. They're like, oh, no one's applying to my casting call. A lot of things can go wrong when it comes to the casting websites, and the first thing is that you might be shooting in a few days and you're like, oh crap, I need an actor. Maybe someone fell through and you're looking for someone last minute. Give yourself as much lead time as humanly possible. You may be laying on the script for years and years and years, but until you actually have a shooting date and your gear and your crew and whatever, and you're like, yes, we are going to be shooting on October 15th. Don't wait until October 10th or 12th to put a posting up on these casting websites. You have to give yourself enough lead time to make sure that people have enough time to apply. Because if you're doing self-tapes, if you're doing Zoom auditions, you have to give everyone enough time to get their schedules together. So casting websites, yes, are very, very common. A lot of people know about them, but they're using them the wrong way. Give yourself enough time, for the love of Jesus. Just give yourself enough time and the actors enough time to apply to you. I forgot one. While I was driving to my doctor's appointment today, I thought, oh my God, I forgot one. So I wanted to make sure this made the list. This may look a little bit different. It may sound a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. This is important information you need to know. So I want to make sure that you guys know that you can use casting directors. Now, this may seem pretty intimidating. You're like, I don't know a casting director, and that's okay. You can research, you can Google, you can go on Facebook groups, you can go and research and find these people who are going to be casting directors or aspiring casting directors. You can probably find casting assistants that are trying to move up and start their own side business or start their own business for casting. You can also go on LinkedIn and find these people who are wanting to be casting directors. A great example is I met Sam. Sam is someone I met at the New Jersey Film Expo when I was exhibiting there. And it was a really great conversation. And the one thing that he said that I remembered him for was that he wanted to be a casting director and he wants to cast movies. And I was like, wow, this is great. And the reason why I remembered him, this is like a good little networking tip, is that he was really specific, right? He may want to be a writer-director, but I don't remember that about him, okay? I remember the fact that he said he wanted to get into casting directing and he wanted to do more of it. He took my set PA class. He was able to get into the film challenge. He didn't apply to be a part of the team, but what he did is he was able to be a casting director for 2 of the films. So he casted 2 films. That's 2 credits that he got, 2 IMDb credits for casting 2 short films. And I think that is really, really great. And he was able to build his resume, and also the teams were able to get good actors. So casting directors are definitely something that is not out of your grasp, out of your reach. Definitely do some research, find these people because they love doing it and they need the experience and you need actors. So let's get it together, right? You can make it work. So I really love this option. There is a group called We Make Movies, and what they do is they put on writers labs. Now, during this writers lab, you can submit your script and actors can submit to read for the script. And what happens is you can see the actors act it out right in front of your eyes. And the benefits of this is threefold. You get to see if something works in your script, see if it doesn't. Sometimes you just don't realize there's a problem until you actually see actors act it out. You get feedback on your script, and then you get to see the actors that may fit a role that you're trying to cast later on. You can just attend these writers labs and just kind of be there to watch the actors and give feedback. You don't actually have to submit a script. You can just attend. While this group exists in New York City, there are definitely going to be other groups around the country and definitely in the major film markets around the US and around the world. Social media. Now, this can be like a no-brainer because we are in the day and age of everything is some social media platform. But here's the thing. I just finished my annual film challenge, the Beyond Film School Short Film Challenge. They have to cast their movies on their own. I am not helping them do that. So that's a whole learning curve for them. But the main thing that they start doing is, yes, they are going to be posting on those websites. The second thing they're doing is they're posting on those social media. And then when they tag me in their post, I share it to mine, and then they get someone, that is going to audition for their part. You don't want to just post one time. You need to be on this. You need to have a post in Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, and you need to share it in your stories. You need to share it anywhere you possibly can and then tag people so they can share it. So you want to cast a wide net here. You're making a nice little graphic. You're not just like typing in just certain random stuff on social media. Make a nice graphic that you can give to other people who can actually share it on their social media. Going along with that, you can use Reddit, you can use Discord, Facebook groups, like it goes on and on and on. There are so many different actor groups out there. Just don't give up. Just keep doing it and keep reposting, and don't just give up after like 1 or 2 days. Just like I said in the first one, you have to give yourself enough lead time. You can't just be like, hey, I need someone tomorrow. That's not gonna work. So I think maybe some folks who are watching this video are like, oh, but you're in New York, New Jersey, you have access to people who they want to be in projects, there's actors everywhere, or maybe, they think I live in LA or something, where LA and New York have high density of actors. Well, this is maybe true. There are actors everywhere in every community. Check out your local theaters. Check out those small theaters, those community theaters. Those are really good places where you can actually post up. Sometimes those theaters have like those bulletins, like old school, make a flyer, an actual hard copy flyer. Put a flyer up, and then you'll have a casting call or whatever, an audition process, or a number that they can call you at, or an email or whatever. Look into your local theater. Look into your colleges that are around you and their theater programs, their actor programs. Also, there's conservatories. There's all types of acting schools. Now, I may say students in schools and conservatories where you're thinking like, well, I need someone who's 50. Well, conservatories and acting groups and acting classes, they are all types of people, all ages. So look in your community of where the acting classes are. They have them all the time. This is like deep dive Google search all the acting classes, theater groups, community groups around you that are dealing with actors. They're out there. I'm telling you, it's just like a very rich pool of people who are just waiting to do something like a short film or a feature film. So this may not work for someone who's never been on set before and they're making their first short ever or their first feature film ever and they haven't really been on set before. It may not work for you, but if you have been on set before, get a referral from someone you know. Do you have producer friends? Do you have crew members that have made short films? Do you have someone who's been on set before? Ask them who their actor friends are. Share that casting call with them, but make sure you're sharing those things with people who you know that work on set. Everyone knows a bunch of actors. Okay, so you may not know, maybe you know 1 or 2 actors, but then they are not fitting the description of your project. Well, then ask them if they know somebody. Like, hey, I know this doesn't really fit your description, but like, do you know someone who fits this, who would really be good for this type of character? First of all, we gotta back up a little bit because this is all involving you asking people around you for help. And I know that some people have this problem. You have to ask people for help and you have to just be like, hey, do you know? You have to ask the question. Just get out there, ask the question, because if you really want your project made, you're going to ask for help and you have to ask the people around you. My next one is probably going to be a little annoying. So I'm sorry, but I'm like a broken record on Beyond Film School because networking is going to be the thing that helps you so much. Okay. Even when it comes to looking for actors. And I truly mean this. When you're trying to look for jobs, that's one type of networking. But if you're looking for actors, you should be networking as well. You should be going to meetup groups. Look on meetup.com, go on Humanitics. There's events there. Go to Eventbrite. Go to any place where a bunch of people who work in film are getting together. It could be the NAB show. It could be the New Jersey Film Expo. It could be the Cine Expo. So there's so many places where people are getting together and they're all types of people. If they're a producer, producer, they could be an actor. If they're a director, they could also be an actor. So actors are like doing every type of position out there. They're like everywhere and you don't even know it, okay? Make sure that you are actually getting out there, getting your face out there and actively looking for actors and say, hey, I'm actually going to be shooting this thing next month. I think that you would fit the role. Would you be interested? Let me send you the script. And also you've already kind of met them. So that actually kind of helps with like you're in person and maybe the way they talk or maybe their mannerisms are like, oh my God, this she or he is this character. Go to networking events. It's going to help you. I swear it's going to help you. You actually have to get out in person, in the real world. Go to networking events, you're gonna meet people, and then look for actors. This next one is kind of involved with the networking of it all, but if you did work on something before, go to the screening. Go to the screening, and then also outside of that, go to film festivals. People, all types of people are going to film festivals and going to screenings of things that they've worked on, and that also means the actors. And actors go to those things, guys. Here's the thing. Whenever I go to a networking event, maybe I'm trying to expand my circle, I want someone to be like, hey, I'm an AD, please hire me. I encounter a lot of actors because actors want roles. Actors want to be known. They want to expand their circle. They want to actually meet the person that's going to be looking for actors. So when you're going to these screenings and going to a film festival, they're out there. Definitely go if you're looking for them. This is a little bit of a, I don't know, either I was going to say non-traditional or non-conventional, but I don't think so because I think many times people do this. They see their friend and they're like, you know what, I really want my friend to play this role. I kind of wrote it for them. Convince your friend to play it. Maybe we can just, for a few weeks, you guys can do rehearsals, you can work on some of the acting techniques, and you can shape them into an actor. That is also an option. Looking into people who are not really actors, but you're like, this person fits what I'm looking for. So that is also an option. One of my last options is probably something that I would never do, and it's you are just going about your everyday life and you are just walking down the street, you pass a stranger and you're like, wow, this person looks exactly the part that I'm trying to put in my movie. And you stop them and you say, hey, are you an actor? I would never do this, but there are some people who are bold and just brave and would do this. They might be like, oh my God, person's probably, making some crazy ass thing and they don't trust you, but obviously you're gonna give them an email and you'll give them the script or whatever. Hopefully you can build some trust there. But I have seen this happen, and obviously you've heard of those stories of someone just randomly being discovered off the street, just walking by. It does happen, so you never know. So you could be somewhere and just in line at your local cafe and you're like, oh my God, this person ordered the exact same way as the character in my short film. Another perfect option is going to be improv classes, improv groups, improv teams. Now, there are tons of these all over the place. They're not just exclusive to big cities, and I know you have the famous ones that are in Chicago, I think UCB in New York City. Those are the famous improv teams and troops and stuff like that, but there are tons of different improv groups where you might be shooting a comedy and these are the perfect people for that. Make sure you go to improv shows, sketch comedy shows, stuff like that, the smaller shows, not like the big ones that are like a lot of money, but like the smaller local shows. And if someone's like, pretty good, reach out to them and then boom, casted your actors, guys. You're welcome. There may be some of you wondering, like, what do I give these actors in exchange? I cannot afford them. I can't afford to pay them. So here's the thing. You have to give some type of value. What can you offer your actor if you can't give them money? Now, it could be something small. Maybe you do pay them something. It's not very big. Maybe you give them $100 or something for the project or per day. Maybe you could defer payment. That's also something you can draw up a contract, defer payments or points depending on what you decide to do with your project. Another option is exchanging, bartering for something. Can you do something for them? Maybe you could make their acting reel. Maybe you could edit it for them. Maybe you could take new headshots for them. Maybe you could edit their website. There are so many different things that actors need that they just don't have the skills in that they could use your services for you as a filmmaker. Maybe they need to shoot a few self-tapes for bigger auditions. You can help them with that. So there could be a bartering system. Also, you want to make sure with the thing you're shooting with them, you give them the footage for their reel or for their website. You want to make sure that you give them IMDb credit. So these are all things that you could give them in exchange for them being in your movie and doing you a solid for taking on that role for you. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is just get involved in your film community. Honestly, if the more you're out and you're face to face with people and you're doing things in real life, maybe you're helping someone else with their project. That's also another buttering thing, is that you could work on their project because they worked on your project, you work on theirs, you help them out, blah, blah, blah. So just make sure that you're involved, you show up, because people will show up for you. Also asking people for help. People that are around you, make sure you just ask. Just ask. That's all you have to do is ask. So I hope this video was helpful. And if there's a way, an unconventional way, or maybe a way that I didn't list in this video that you have found actors, put it in the comments below. I'm very, very curious because, if you put it in the comments and I didn't have it in the video, then we're just helping each other out. Good luck. I hope it goes well. And that's it for now. I shall see you next time.